Hi guys, it's time for a new love story. Very warm, beautiful here in Thailand. And this one, interesting to me. We've called it Make Me Love You. See if you can work it out from the start, eh? This one starts right at the beginning in about 2000 when I started my job as a bar manager in my first bar in Pattaya in Soi BJ, and the bar was called Soi BJ Fun Bar. The first night we opened the bar, I met this character, and I'm going to give you a bit of information about him. Makes me smile when I think about the guy. The guy's called Leon. Born in Germany, Berlin. Spent all his early days and education in Berlin. Speaks fluent English and German, no other language. Had a normal upbringing from what I can make out, and after finishing university he qualified as an engineer, electrical or electronic engineer. Anyway, being German, this guy turned up at my bar on the opening night at about 7 o'clock, and he spent the next 21 nights coming into my bar at 7 o'clock, and at the end of the evening, after whatever he did, he left about, I can't say about because he was totally OCD, 12:30, 30 minutes past midnight every night. 21 nights he spent when I first opened that bar as a manager. The first 4 days he drove me round the bend, but on day 5 his story changed. I absolutely hated him the first 4 days, but on the 5th day, after his story changed, I began to actually love seeing this guy come into the bar and look forward to it. Now, for anyone out there who hasn't got any German friends, I believe I'm going to say it's mainly German. This guy, when I say he was OCD, ODC, whichever way you want to call it, he was methodical in everything he did. After university he landed a job at a engineering manufacturing company. This company made stainless steel type machines that for the Asian market, that would put a fruit or vegetable or any food product in one side and it would come out either as juice or sliced or skin taken off or shaped. It was a process. You put the object in here and it came out here how you wanted it. Now, Leon was a really clever engineer, and within a year of him landing his job, so he was about 25 when he landed that job, within a year of him landing that job, he turned out to be a bit of a mad professor, a mad inventor, and he quickly started inventing changes for this company's machines. Now, Leon was about 6'2", reasonably not slim build, but he was a sort of solid build at 6'2", but he had a little bit of a food gut on him. Wasn't drink. He never drank alcohol. He told me his father was an alcoholic, so he never in his life touched alcohol. He was 6'2", and he had black hair and a full head of hair. He had sideboards, as we call it in England, sideburns, hair down, perfectly cut and trimmed, and then clean shaven. When you looked at him, he was impeccable. Always clean shaved, always looked the same hair. He had glasses, black rimmed, and always wore, but every time I saw him, in all the occasions I saw him, he had a shirt collar with lapels. And I later found out he had all of these shirts made for him in different parts of Asia in tailors, but they were multiple colours. Always the same design shirt, no logo on them, no name, no brand. They were pinks and different shades and oranges and yellow. Always pastel or bright coloured shirts. Always black trousers, slacks, whatever you want to call them. Always polished black shoes. And this never changed in every time I saw him throughout this story. The only thing that changed was his shirt. He never once appeared in front of me unshaven, or anything changed about his face or his glasses. He probably had 50 pairs of glasses. He was immaculate, dressed all the time, and this was from day one in his engineering job. He somehow just twigged with these machines, invented some little gadgets that would go in and change them, and the owner of that company, just after a year, according to Leon, spotted his abilities and knew that if he nurtured this guy, he would change the machines for the better over the years, but he would have to invest in this guy. Very clever owner. And from that end of that first year, Leon told me every little magical widget he made for the machines, the company patented and copyright, and they gave him a percentage of every machine sold with his widget in it. I met him when he was 50, and he told me from 25, 26 he stayed with that company. He had many companies offer him jobs in the same industry. They knew, and he invented 10, 20 widgets by the time I'd met him. He didn't tell me about his finances at the beginning, that was later, but he had worked his way up to the Asian director, international director, sales and installation, or something like that. And throughout his time from 26 to 50 years old, because of all the commissions he was making and the sales on the machines and things, he was earning between $7,000 and $10,000, £6,000 to £8,000 a month, pretty much through his whole career, if you averaged it out. Obviously it started lower for the years and then went up and up and up and up. He was loyal to his company and always said he would never leave them, and that's why he got promoted and promoted and promoted, and had a solid background. In university he fell for a girl, and he'd never been with a girl sexually through that time. He fell for this girl and courted her for nearly a year, and then she fell pregnant by somebody else. It broke his heart, absolutely broke his heart. After that he never got into a relationship, a serious relationship, never got married, never had kids, never wanted kids, just kept working. for the first 5 years after university, he was based in Berlin at the headquarters. And at that point, he indicated that he wanted to go and see where all the machines were installed, look at the competitors' machines and all of this. And at that point, he was sent to Asia. He went to Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, Cambodia, Thailand. And there was people already here in Asia. When the machines were sold and sent over, engineers would install them into the different factories. He got to be in all of those installations, watching, learning, and at the same time looking at all the competitors' machines around Asia. And then he went on to copy some stuff and made more widgets and more money for the company. By the time I met him at 50, he'd been in Thailand and Asia for must be 20 years. In fact, he'd moved to Asia because he was full-time in Asia. However, he was living in hotels. Now, he'd been making that company so much money. He was flying business class when he was going home. He was in 5-star hotels constantly, living in that style. And it seemed to suit him. I mean, he told me lots of stories which I might share with you through this story. And as I introduce you to him and this love story, or is it a love story? The night he walked in was my opening night as a bar manager, my first night in Soy BJ. It was hectic. We had 10 of our own girls working, and the owner that I worked for brought about 5, 6, 7 girls from one of her soapy massages to bolster the opening the first week. So we had, I don't know, 15, 16 girls. The bar was busy because it was balloons everywhere, girls in Walking Street with signs. It was great. And he appeared on that first night at 7 o'clock. Just out of the blue. I'd never met him before. Why'd you bite my feet? Huh? Never met him before. He came in, and I was just wandering around meeting everyone. Let me explain this bar layout. In many bars in Thailand, they are a single unit. They're like a house, some of them, with the bar downstairs and a couple of rooms upstairs. If you picture that sort of vertical house, times it by 4. On the right hand 2 sections there was rooms upstairs. The left hand 2 section there was only 1 room upstairs. In the bar itself, all enclosed at the front except rubbish aluminium patio sliding doors as the main front door in the middle. As you came through that bar, on the left quarter was raised up some steps, was a pool table. On the 2 right quarters, the right half, was a disco nightclub floor with a DJ's box in the far right hand corner, raised up like a pulpit in a church. And in the left section, the left half, was the bar. And it came from the back wall on your left, came along and round and back down to the wall. So it was sort of 2 halves. Right was sort of dancing and standing with tables. They just love the locals with motorcycles with the exhaust hanging off, just to annoy when I'm making a recording. Bless them. So the right half was dark and little tables, you could stand 3 or 4 people around. Dancing area, pulpit, and as I've mentioned, a crazy Thai tomboy DJ we had sometimes I called Animal. But at the back was an archway to the right. You could go through to toilets, up the stairs to lots of short time rooms, all decorated in little mosaic tiles. horrible rooms. One had a jacuzzi. And the left, and that was 3 floors I think above on that side, 6 or 7 rooms. But on the left was just one room above, which was an office for the owner of the bar, a desk for me, and a secret door into this side, into one of the short time rooms. Don't know why, never knew why that door was there. Very strange, very weird. But as you walked in the door, you were faced straight down to the arch, and Leon walked straight in and sat on that side of the bar, facing the interior of the bar. He ordered an orange juice and lemonade. In England we call that Henry. And the only other drink he drank was a black currant and lemonade, if you had the black currant cordial. He never ever, in all the times I met him, drank alcohol or any other drink. Tailored shirt, I don't know why he had the lapels, that was weird. Maybe he wanted to be an airline pilot or something, or in the forces. Shall I shout at Mem to shut up? Mem? Can't shout at her. Cheer up. Oh, oh. She told me to whistle. Oh dear. Never drank anything else. Never. No alcohol, ever. And he sat down for 4 nights, the first 4 nights of the bar opening, started telling me his life story. Those were 4 exciting nights of my life with the bar opening and doing that job, but also every time I sat down for a break, he drove me nuts with his backstory. And I thought to myself, I remember, I hope I don't get many customers like this coming in. They're gonna drive me nuts. Why did he pick our bar? Why did he come in? It becomes apparent later. Leon from Berlin, Germany. What a guy. How does this make a love story? Well, you know me. How can you ride a bike with a sidecar around with that noise all day? Water delivery. Oh, Leon, Leon, Leon. Catch you on the next episode. Remind me to talk about his notepad and his filofax. And if you've never heard of a filofax, look it up on Google. Ta-da. Bye-bye for now.